Bam, we're live.
Slightly delayed.
What's up, fellas?
How have you two been?
We're good. Not too bad. How was your competition?
Oh, it was all right. I'm definitely not as fit as I was when I did the qualifier. That's okay.
Enlighten us.
Yeah,
a
but
little.
like you said, might not have been as fit, but you still put 295 over your head with ease.
Yeah. No, it would have been. I'd be ecstatic if I hit the one after that. If I hit 310, it would have been like a big deal. People acting like 295 is a lot, and I feel like I did that very easily. Everybody else is just weak, but that's why I'm very unfit because I'm that strong. So Daniel, I did the qualifier for this competition. It's a bigger competition. It was in October, and then I did that. I was very lucky to make it. Like I was one of the last people to get in, and like a month later, CrossFit came out with like only the top 1% will go to online semifinals. I'd have to have like 2 max outs in the open for me to make the top 1%. It's just not going to happen. The highest I've ever been was like 97th percentile, and there was a max in it, and that was like 20% of the points. And then Grid League came about, and I've told you a little bit about Grid League. So my job is just to get as strong as possible. And I was like, this is a great opportunity to try to get where I can clean 405 and do all these and try to be as freaky as I can be. So I've been doing that. And then I was still signed up for this competition. All of my girls are doing the competition, and so I'm coaching them. I'm mostly in a coaching capacity, but I'm not going to not do it. I signed up for it. I'm just not as fit as I was. I didn't think I was that unfit. Like it hit really hard. My rankings in the events. Let me pull up. I'm going to tell you what I was ranked out of this. So it's out of 50 people. Okay. 48. It's out of 48 people. 48 people. And my placements were 46th, 40th, 42nd, 32nd, 37th, 1st.
Nice. Nice.
And that is what we call a specialist. And I would have won out of the pros too. Like that was the highest snatch the whole thing was. But I had 310 on the bar, but I had like 3 seconds to do it. Like the second I loaded it, they were like, all right, 5 seconds. And I think if I had like 20 seconds of rest, I would 100% could have hit that because it was the cleanest 295 I've ever had. And I hadn't been snatching. I've just been cleaning and squatting a lot. So I didn't really know. Kind of just going off a feel. But
is that your first attempt or
what?
The 295?
Yeah, no, I went 185, 225, 255, 275, 295, and then 310 at the very end. Yeah, Kenneth says 295 to 310. Yeah, I know that is a dumb jump. I did not know what the weights were. I thought it was 285, and I put 295 on the bar. That never happens to me. I don't know how it happened to me, but I just put the wrong weights on. And then, so I thought it was 285. And then I'm like, oh man, I might hit 300. This feels amazing. Right. And then it ended up being like a lot heavier. So that's what happened with that. But yeah, so I'm not very fit, but I'm really strong. That's how my competition went. Everybody else went great. I have like a whole bunch of
when you do the Grid League, when you say you're like a specialist, like obviously strength is going to be your specialty. Now, will you only do the events with a specific strength portion?
Well, Well, it's like a team. So like the gymnastics guy does like 5 uprises on the rings. Those are like reverse muscle ups. I tried to do it and I couldn't do it. I think I could get there with like some practice, but I'm just gonna leave that to our gymnastic guy. Like he can go get it. But like he would do that, and then he would run and tag me, and then I'll do 3 clean and jerks with 300, and then I'll run and tag a girl, and she'll do 40 kettlebell swings because the girls move faster than the guys do because of range of motion. And then you just go like that. Like every event, it's like a team oriented event. It's not just one person. Does that make sense? Right. But no, like, I mean, if there's one with deficit handstand push-ups, I'm extremely good at that. I can do triple touches pretty good too, but it's just kind of like who you have and how fast they go. Like maybe somebody squats faster than me and I can do something else faster than them on our team. It's not necessarily like who is the strongest, it's who can move the fastest, right? Yeah. If me and Daniel had a race of 5 clean and jerks with 225, that's it. That's the race. That's what it would be like. Like I'm only winning by like a second. I'm not winning by a lot because we're all going touch and go, but it's who can move that the fastest. It's stuff like that. There's not like max outs. I just threw 405 out there because very few people have done that. It's something I think I can do. And then like, I'll never be that strong ever again. Like I'm trying to peak out, be like, this is what I did. And then I'll never be there ever again. That's fine. Yeah, I'm getting old. Like I got to set goals that like within a year or two, and then there's no more goals.
I thought like peak strength was right around where you're at, man.
I just want to, but I'm saying 2 years from now, it starts getting like, listen, I hurt my shoulder on that 310 attempt. Like and so I'm starting to hurt myself. You know what I mean? I'm limited.
Well, you got dad strength now, so that'll help.
Right. Yeah. But I think once I get to that, I'll never be that strong again. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And honestly, I don't want to be. I think whenever I'm done doing like lifting things, I'm going to get real into cycling and I'm going to get real skinny.
No, you won't.
Oh, no, I am. I'm 100% committed to this. I don't want to be big, Daniel. I'm big right now. Like, I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
I'm not saying you're going to be big, but you're never going to put a barbell down, dude.
Oh, no, I'm not saying I won't just stop doing that stuff, but I'll cycle every day and I won't lift every day. I would 100% would do that.
Okay.
No, I'm 207 right now. I'm like
that's what I was about to ask.
I'm what you thick, dude. Like, and it does not feel good at all. Like, if you see, I'll send you the video of my 295, Daniel. Like, I look thick. Like it's and it's just I don't like it. Listen, 195 me is like the best looking me. 12 pounds, like you could tell I'm trying to do some strength stuff because it don't look like I'm just, this is what I look like when I wake up out of bed. No, it looks like I'm munching waffles 24/7.
Well, that like when you're like into fitness, 12 pounds, that's a lot. You know what I mean? Like to a normal average person, oh, I gained 10 pounds. Well, you can't really tell that much. But somebody who's fit, you gain 10 pounds. That's not like lean muscle. Like you can, that's a big, you know what I mean? That's a big deal.
Especially on that frame where it's not spread out super far.
Thanks, Daniel. I appreciate that. What's funny is I eat the same. I didn't change anything with that. I don't eat more. I just do way less volume. Like it's lifting and you can't squat 500 every day and then still do like a whole bunch of CrossFit workouts. But I used to not lift at all unless it was in a CrossFit workout. And it's just, I've just cut down on volume. But listen, Kenneth, Daniel is not a part of the CrossFit world. Okay. He does not know. He actually plays with real athletic people and not just people who wish they were athletic but can hurt a lot. Okay, so it's okay for him to make those comments.
I don't play with him anymore though. I'm washed out, so it's okay.
But I'm just saying, you know what actual like genetic freaks look like, and not just people who can hurt a lot. It's hilarious, dude. People think I'm big, and it's so funny. It's so funny because the people who are the best at the sport are all 5'8". So like I'm not tall, but I'm on the bigger side. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But it's so funny, dude. It's because they you would think they've never played basketball in their life. The way people, it's pretty hilarious. And Brock's like a 6 foot. He's I'm the shortest guy in the panel by multiple inches.
Was that like a big shock, Daniel, when you played in the NFL? Like, which I guess if you're coming from a D1 college, you probably see it a good bit there. But I'm assuming there's probably a pretty big jump from college to you get to NFL. Like those are everybody's like a genetic freak, kind of. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the biggest jump though wasn't necessarily the size; it was the speed with the size. Because like in college, for example, in college there was one year I played at 255. I didn't touch anything higher than like 247 in the pros, and I was comfortable more around 245. So I would actually say most people drop weight in the pros, but they get more mobile and they get more explosive and they get faster. So,
dude, there was
just because of coaching or
like that happens for everybody, or is that what
like losing weight, but getting, I guess, exponentially getting faster. Because typically, like you would think, like in college, you're pretty close to your peak.
Yeah,
you know
I'm sorry.
what I mean?
I misspoke there. I'm not saying I got faster per se. It's more like you're just taking the fastest sliver of college and then they're all together. So everybody is faster.
Like it's 1% of college that and now it's everybody. Everybody's the fastest thing you've seen. There was one dude, Brock. He was the running back for Tennessee, and I was on the. I don't remember why I was on the field, but I was on the field. As Jalen, what's his last name, Daniel?
Hurd.
It was the craziest combination of size and speed I had ever seen up close. And he washed out of the NFL.
Well, he was hurt. He was hurt all the time.
Regardless, he didn't do it much.
Yeah.
And
but he was a freak. I'll give you that.
And I'm telling you, and I played Sammy Watkins in high school. He was pretty fast. I mean, he's not big, but he was fast. And I'm telling you, it was the first time I felt like me and that guy are not the same, species. Like that guy is just a different thing than I am. I could take people just being a lot bigger, but it was just so fast and so big. There would be nothing. I don't think I could touch him if I was trying to go tackle him. You know what I mean? And he didn't do anything. That's what I'm saying. He's not even what a freak in the NFL would be a whole step above that.
Well, the NFL's. I mean, you got to be the best football players too, right? It's being the best at the right time, healthy. Knowing what you're supposed to do. So Jalen Hurd had all the traits to be a really good player. He was hurt, and I would not say his mentality was the best all the time, but who cares? He made a lot more money than I did. So
he played a more glamorous position. I think is Myles Garrett the freakiest guy you've ever been in front
of? Yeah, him or Javon Kinlaw. That dude was Trent Williams. Trent Williams, hands down. And Chris Jones, too. Chris Jones was massive. But Trent Williams was that combination where, dude, he was running a faster 10-yard split than I was. Not that my 10-yard split is really fast, but, the dude is 90 pounds heavier than me.
He's 330.
Yeah. So he was running.
I think that's one of the most impressive to me is, your offensive front and your defensive front, 330, 350, running 4.9s.
That was insane. The biggest jump. That was the biggest jump for me. I thought, like, you know, I'm playing ACC football. It wasn't terrible. Like, the defensive ends were still decent, but trying to block an ACC DN versus, like, an NFL DN, even the second string guys, like, gee whiz, man, I'm just getting roasted here. So it's a win if it's a stalemate at the tight end position most of the time, to be honest. But, Brock, I think we had a question about your marathon, man. Why don't you just share that with everybody?
Yeah, that's way more impressive than anything that I did this last weekend, I promise.
Or me, that's for sure.
It was rough, man. It was tough. Mentally and physically, it was a big test for sure. I would say, what John, you've ran one before. I would say for me, the race started around 18.
Yeah.
18 to 20, that's when it started. And
like
23.
19 to like 22 are the worst miles.
See, for me, it was the last three. Well,
Really?
I say
I was feeling good at 24. 24, I'm like, oh, I'm basically done. Like I could lie to myself. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. I don't know. Like it got to the point for me. My right knee specifically, was hurting so bad that the last mile, and I don't want to sound like a sissy or nothing, but the last mile, I was waiting on my knee to pop. Like I thought that I was going to tear something in my knee. That's how bad it was hurting. With every step, it was rough.
You also ran an 8 sub 9 minute pace.
Yeah, for most of it, but I think my average ended up being like 9:08 or something.
But it was sub 4 hours though, right? That was the goal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, you're not just running it. Like so you're running it. It's not like doing
it. It was hard because I didn't really know what, obviously, because it was my first. I didn't really know what strategy to take. So I remember when I ran my 20 miles. Like when I was training for it, I remember how I felt at like 18 and 19, and I was pretty. I wanted to leave myself more room to be able to slow down more at the end because I knew I was going to hit a wall. So that's why I tried to run a little bit faster in the beginning while I could.
Yeah,
and I don't know if that was the right move. I really don't. I mean, it worked out fine. I mean, whatever, but I really don't know.
I decided to take it out hot, and we just let it ride. You know, it'd be all right.
I will say, like the first, I mean, obviously you feel good at the beginning, but it was really hard. I guess because I mean, there was thousands of people out there, so it was harder. The first 2 or 3 miles, it was hard to pace because, like, you would think, I guess, with just so many people around you, like if you didn't constantly look at your watch, like you felt, man, I'm running slow. And then I'd look at my watch and I'd be at like an 8:15. I'm like, dude, you got to slow down. And I think the first mile, it was like 8:34. And I was like, dude, you can't, obviously you feel good right now, but you can't do this. Like you need to take a step back. But afterwards, I felt so bad. Like I felt like such a sissy because I was hurting so bad. I felt bad.
I cried. I like went in we lived like you walk in the door and you go upstairs. At the time, we lived in a place that had that, and I walked in the door. I sat on the stairs and then I just cried. And Leslie wasn't home. Like it was just me. And
I could see that.
And then it was like, well, I'm done with that. Like
I felt bad because like where I crossed the finish line, so my mom and Destiny were standing there, and they were like cheering and yelling and whatnot, and I just gave them like this death stare, and then just kept walking. Like I was like, I can't do this right now. I need to get somewhere where I can lay down.
Well, how many days were you effed up till you felt better?
I would say so. I think what made it the worst is, so I finished I finished around 11:30 Sunday morning, and by 2:00 we were in the car driving back home.
Yeah.
And it wasn't bad like sitting in the car, but when we would stop to get gas or stop to use the bathroom and
dude.
try to get out of the
Man.
car,
Oh,
dude,
yeah.
awful.
Yeah.
So that was obviously Sunday night was bad. Monday, my knees hurt really, really bad, but my legs weren't too terrible. Well, then Tuesday, my legs were extremely sore and my knees had kind of eased off a little bit. And yesterday and today, just kind of like today, I feel fine. Legs are still a little stiff, but so I would say Monday and Tuesday for sure were pretty bad as far as being sore and achy.
We need to get Daniel to do something.
Nothing like that, dude.
Not long, but you can do something painful.
I will say, like, I don't know.
Not long. I think long would be way worse. I don't think that's too much to expect of you.
Yeah, I think it is too. Appreciate that.
No, I think it, like you're saying, I think everybody should try like something hard like that. I really do feel. I feel like I'm mentally tougher
For sure. Yeah. No, I
now I don't know if I'll do another one, but I'll run a half marathon all day long. The half was easy, but I don't know if I'll do another marathon.
We need to figure out what
I
Dan
do. I
should
will
do.
train.
Dude, we're doing a wicked workout tomorrow. I'm really excited. I'm excited to watch everybody do it. You should, Brock. You could try it. Daniel, I would love for you to try it, but I don't expect you to try it. 50 cal bike, echo bike for time. However long it takes you to do that echo bike, that's how many bar facing burpees you have, and then you're done. So if it takes you 50 seconds, you only have 50 burpees. If it takes you 90 seconds, you have 90 burpees. So it's where do you want to hurt? How bad do you want to hurt? Is it worth it to hurt? Or do you want? Or
Did I see that on somebody's Instagram this week?
Dude, maybe it was sent to me. No, it wasn't Hiller because it was sent to me. But I am excited to give it a crack.
God, I saw that too. I can't remember because I was like, dude, that would hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that would suck.
But Daniel, I think you could have a really good time on that.
No, I think my bike would kill it, and then I would probably take like 50 years on the burpees.
But that's everybody. But that's what I'm saying. Don't kill it. Like kill it for 30 seconds, and then back off. Like what I'm saying, what I'm planning on doing is to take 80 seconds, and then
80 burpees.
Yeah, but like I'll be good enough to do it fast. Like the difference between 50 burpees and 80 burpees, that 30 burpee difference is not worth what you're about to feel to do that.
And you got to jump right into it. It's not like
there is no rest.
Yeah, that's rough.
Because I can do 80 seconds and feel okay. And then we take the first 20 just to recover. And then I could just do 60 like a workout. Whereas if I'm doing for 50 cals, I think it takes me 56 seconds, 54 seconds, around there on an echo bike. Echo bike, you're a little bit slower than you are an assault bike. I would be roasted. Like I'm done. Like I would do slow burpees, but I'm telling you, I think that's the way to like just be kind of good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. You should try it. Just sprint as hard as you can. Tell me how it feels.
Did you last year?
Because you could probably do it. You could probably do it in 40 something.
Did you test the semifinal workout where they did the 30 cal echo and then like 15 ring muscle ups and then the
lunge
with the hundreds?
Yeah.
Dude, so there was a lot of them.
I sent it on that. I did exactly what Luke Parker did, and
that's what I was about to say. Luke Parker did it in like 20 something seconds.
Yeah, no, I was 27 seconds, but and then I did 654 in the ring muscle ups. That's short enough. You don't feel it. That next like 20 seconds is what really like get you so bad. But no, that was short enough. I think I would have been like a middle of the pack score for that workout because the lunge I'm fine, right? And then I went 654 on the muscle ups. Now I know they all went unbroken, but my bike was very fast. It actually equaled out to a good time. Now you have to think they did that at the end of the end. That was the last workout for the semifinals though, so they're a little bit roasted. I did it fresh, but yeah, no,
Yeah,
that's
see,
less of a bike workout.
I did 30 cows for time. It was like that next week, just because like just a sprint. And dude, I like 30 seconds after that, I was laying on the ground. I was like, it hit me like 20 seconds after I got off the bike. I went to jump up on the rings, and I was like, dude, I can't even move right now.
Yeah,
I can't do this.
That's because you're a runner, Brock, and you don't like that. You don't like that sprinty lactic acid feeling. That's literally all the freak I do all day is stuff like that. That's why you can run a sub 4 hour marathon, because you're not good at that. And that's the beauty of CrossFit. So beautiful. I think Dallon's time on 50 cals was 41 seconds. Him and Fikowski tied. Those two are like the two of the best bikers. I would put them in the top 5. Dallon's probably second. If you want to give 50 cows a crack and see if you can beat it, Daniel.
What's the like echo versus assault? What are we looking at?
You're gonna hit a higher RPM on assault bike. So therefore, since the cows are exponential, right? Your assault bike cows, you can get way, way, way faster. For instance, when we did the minute test, like I did 60 in a minute, and I'm telling you right now, 50 was 56 seconds for me on an echo bike. Now it's easier, it's smoother. So like you could hold 70 for longer than an assault bike. But like your top RPM, say you hit 126 or something like that for your top RPM on an assault bike. That's going to be like 120, 119. It's just less. It's like sprints. It does make a difference. You are going to be slower because 126 versus 120 is almost a cal a second more.
Yeah.
That's the difference. But it is smoother. So if you're just trying to hold an RPM, it's easier.
Okay. Interesting. Thanks for educating me.
Yeah. No. Do you have an assault bike, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll call it 60 cows for time.
Ouch.
Well, that's the equivalent. I'm trying to find the equivalent. You probably still do it in 40 something seconds. I think he did 81 in a minute. Is that right?
Yeah, something like that.
He did 81 on an assault bike, Brock, in a minute.
I was in better shape then, though.
It's 1 minute, Daniel. Your shape doesn't matter.
That's not true. You can 100% train your anaerobic threshold. So don't give me that.
But your fitness doesn't matter for that. Or Brock would be
your
faster.
anaerobic threshold does, and if depending on how you've trained that, I was BFR biking like almost every day when I did that, dude.
Well, I'm BFR biking just in a normal day, and you were way faster than I was.
Yeah, I'm also like 6 inches taller than you, so that helps.
Yeah, that math checks out.
Yeah.
Do you know your highest RPM?
It's 120 something. I don't know.
So I've hit 117 on an Echo.
Okay.
Once. Never did it again. I've tried to beat it, and I might have been like one of those bikes that just reads higher because 114, 115 is like what I hit every single time. But I've hit 117 one time. But I want to say I was like 122 on the assault bike when we tested it, which means you were probably like 129, maybe 130 even.
Maybe I touched 130. I don't know. I can't remember. I was dead for like 30 minutes after that. So.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. So to do the burpees after it, like, how much do you want to play with that?
Yeah.
I'm going to have such a good time because we got a lot of big guys at our gym who just are dumb and they're just going to go as hard as they can. And then they're just not going to be able to move. And it's going to be so funny. I'm going to have the greatest of time.
You probably got the math all figured out for like if I hold 90 RPMs for this much, it's going to take me this long. Whereas I would have no idea what that equates
So
to.
like your initial sprint, the initial go, instead of like 40 seconds, just go 25 seconds.
Yeah.
And then you'll end up around 30. And then you ride it down and it's hard discipline wise. It's hard to ride it down. Like you want to just stop it.
Yeah.
Don't stop it, ride it down. Because then you get 90, 80, 70, like you get all that, right? By the time you're at 60, you're at like 37 cals. And then you just go real slow. Like, it's okay to be in the 50s. It's okay for like 3 or 4 cals. And you put one little mini sprint on and then you can ride it home. And it comes out to about 80 seconds. But afterwards, you feel like that's what you feel like. Like you're okay. Like you're breathing heavy, but you're okay.
Yeah.
Right. Versus what you feel like when it's 1 minute as hard as you can. Like that's a different feeling. And a lot of people do not know how to do that. And I don't know why. I feel like it's pretty self-intuitive. And these big guys are just going to sprint as hard as they can. It's the funniest thing in the world. I can even tell them to do that, and they won't listen. Like it's. But I'm interested to see what the girls' scores are because they have to go 30. They're going 30 cals.
Okay. Yeah, there might be some of those girls in there might be moving then.
That's what I'm saying. Like I don't know. That's why I don't know where that's gonna play out.
Score is total time.
Mm-hmm. So if you take a minute to do it, which a minute's cooking, like you got 60 burpees after. If you take 3 minutes to do it, you got 180 burpees after. Oh. So like that's what I'm saying. Like there is a fine, beautiful line there somewhere where it's the perfect mix. And I think everybody's going to be different, right? Just depending on your fitness, your anaerobic threshold.
The 50 cals is like that's right at the level where you're like
yeah, absolutely.
There's a guy at the gym. He's doing a 1 year burpee challenge, and every day of the year he adds one burpee and does them every day. So like in December, he's gonna do over 300 burpees every single day.
Oh man, that's
Christmas
so
Day
much.
Burpees is gonna suck.
Yeah,
that's 9,000 burpees in the month of December.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Like right now, I think
his triceps are gonna fall off.
Day like 37 or 30, 38, something like that.
I'm gonna call it that he quits that.
I don't know. No, God, that would be awful.
Dude, you could do 100 a day easy, but 200 a day, like there's, and then 3. I don't think you do that.
How long would 200 take?
Depends how fit you are.
Well, yeah, obviously. Like, let's say the average CrossFitter.
It also depends on the standard that they're doing. A lot of people cheat a lot. Like if you're like all hunched over and you're not standing up all the way. That's why I'm doing bar facing burpees. Because you just got to jump over the bar. Like there is no standard. You can stay low as long as you go over the bar, you're good. But like if they're cheater burpees or if it's like these ones, the Guinness World Record burpees, I don't know if y'all have seen that, but like they just do the plank ones. Like they don't go chest to the floor. Yeah. And like if he does that, it's very manageable. Some girl did like 15,000 in 24 hours, but that's what they are. But 200 burpees, 14 minutes nonstop without stopping.
Yeah, I saw.
And I can't do that. So like I would be stopping. 100 burpees at 7 minutes, is a pretty good clip.
Okay.
10,001 pull-ups in 24 hours. His hands.
Oh, pull-ups? Yeah, I saw this
Dude.
guy, dude, and he's like
His hands
forearm.
were
Like
this
he
big
looks
around,
like
bro.
Popeye.
It looked like the top of his hands, he just got stung by bees everywhere.
And this is legit. Like he's legit. They're legit strict pull-ups. Like they're all like that's a.
I saw the video
Dude,
of him do it the first
lats
time.
are huge.
Yeah,
That's like all he
we're
is.
also seeing him like 8,000 pull-ups in. Like he probably doesn't look like that normally.
True.
But no, that guy's legit. Yeah, or I'd love to see you do 100 bar facing burpees, Daniel, for time.
No, I'm good. Appreciate it.
You can hold Colton Mertens' pace for as long as you can. See how long you can go.
I don't know what that means.
I don't know if that's possible. He did it in 3:19. It's the fastest in the world, like anybody's ever done it ever. But he's 5'4", and he's one of the fittest men in the world, and he's the shortest guy by far. So like it's almost unfair. Like he's going to be the fastest. But 3:19, think about that. That's like that's. I'm trying to think. That's like 30 burpees a minute. Like
that is moving.
That's fast.
That's almost
really fast.
Exactly 30 burpees a minute.
Yeah. All right. Let's talk about being a slave to Christ.
Just to segue into it right now.
I'm sorry. I feel like I led us on so many tangents. Yeah, here. Why don't y'all recap for me, because I wasn't here last week. So why don't you recap, and then we'll go from there.
Well, we were supposed to talk about this. We were supposed to talk about this last week, and we didn't really get around to it, which was fine.
What did you talk about?
We were talking about blasphemy of the Holy Spirit the whole time, man.
Oh, okay.
Getting into it, yeah.
And it went pretty good. But the question, you'll like this, John. The question that I left us with for the audience and the viewers to think about, is I saw on, I think it was Instagram, Facebook, something. It was the guy who plays Jesus in The Chosen.
Okay.
He was in an interview with a woman, and she said, if you could have coffee with Jesus, what would be the one question that you would ask him? And immediately he said, how did I do? And he was like, how did I do? And did I do good enough? And obviously he didn't mean it by actions, because you can't do good enough.
Sure.
But I just thought that was pretty wild. Like it just struck me that the one question, our flesh, automatically you're going to be thinking something crazy like, why ants? Or what's the point of gnats? Or something stupid like that. But he was like, immediately off the cuff. And it could have been scripted. I don't know,
dude.
But immediately he was like, how did I do?
I almost have a negative feeling towards that question. Or towards
prideful type thing.
A little bit. That strikes me a little bit like John asking, "Can I sit at the right hand of your throne when I'm there in heaven?" How mad Jesus was.
That is super weird that you said that, because I just listened to a sermon today about that.
But really Jesus was mad, right? That he would ask, and I don't know. That strikes me like that, and I don't know why. Could be fine. I don't know. But
what's funny about that?
There's nothing you can do to be anything like Jesus. Like you're so far from Jesus. Like it's all, and maybe, and like I'm okay with being completely wrong, but like it's kind of an insult to say, "How did I do?" What do you mean? How did you do? Like it's not close. I don't know. Like, and that sounds negative, but that's how it kind of hits me like that.
Because I didn't think about it like that. That's an interesting. But now that you say that, like I can see that. But it didn't personally. It didn't strike me like that. That's a good way to look at it.
It might not be a good way to look at it. I'm just saying that's how that hit me. Daniel?
Dang, I think I shared it in my story too.
Bro, don't feel bad.
I'm just kidding. I'm just messing.
I don't think it's. I mean, it's impossible to understand the intention behind it. So, there's one side where I can 100% see when Brock first posed the question last week. I think my first response was yours, Sean, and then I thought about it a little bit. And I'm like, well, how are we framing this? Is this like? I do think it's still a little too me focused, but in the sense of like, there's clearly like there's described in the Bible, your rewards in heaven, for example, right? So like, how did I live out the calling that you instructed me to do? But I do think there'd be better questions. I'm not going to say there wouldn't be, but I'm on the fence with it. I'm not going to judge him hardcore, but I see where you're coming from.
Yeah, I feel like if I got to ask Jesus one question, I think I would ask him like, what is your will for me? And if I'm supposed to realize it, can you help me realize it? Or like, have I realized it and I don't know, like, but make it like, can it be clear to me what your will is for me? I think like clarity on that. I think that's what my first question would be. Or I'm not saying that's the right question. That's the question I would ask though.
I think that's I think I totally
And
get where you're.
if you read, you're supposed his will be revealed to you the closer you are with your relationship with God. I'm with it. But just to make it so clear, like the way freaking Paul was, there's not a doubt in his mind. Like nothing. Put me in prison. I'm about to save these gentlemen that are in prison with me.
I got a question for you.
You know what I mean? Like I want that clarity. Like I don't feel like I have a passion for anything that's like that strong or that's not me focused. You know what I mean?
Okay, so here's my question. Just hear me out here, all right? Because I'm with you. I've struggled with the same exact thing. Like, Lord, just give me a dang roadmap, man. I want to do exactly what I'm supposed to do. But have you ever thought about if he told you exactly where he wanted you to be, as opposed to leading you through ways and maturing you along the way, that if he just told you straight up right now, that you would just say, nah, I'm good, and then ditch him at that point?
If it's from him, I don't think I would at all. Dude, Moses didn't want to. He's like, you sure? You sure about that? You want me to do this? Because I'm not good at this. Like, can I at least get Aaron to talk for me? Like he bartered with him. Did he not? He had a clear path for Moses. It couldn't be more clear. Like miracles happening. And Moses is like, ha! And he's like the greatest man in the Old Testament, right? I mean, it is arguable, but and then look at all the great things Moses did. I mean, he still disobeyed him at the end and didn't get to see the promised land. I get that, but he's in heaven. He's chilling, right? Like I think okay. I'll come to you with this. If that were to happen, I'd be like, can you let me know how I'm supposed to do that? Or am I just supposed to figure it out? And I mean, if that's cool, I'll try, but please be with me because I'm probably going to mess something up. Right. And then, and then we're good. I feel like if I heard that from freaking God, I'm not going to say no to that. You know what I mean? I'm a follower of Christ. I'm going to follow Christ. No matter how ridiculous it might seem, if it's like, I know without a shadow of a doubt that this was God and I didn't accidentally take drugs or something and I'm tripping. Like I'm talking like it's clear. This is Jesus talking to me. I don't think I'd have a problem following anything. I'd go build the ark. I wouldn't know what I was doing, but I would try to figure out how to build the ark.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I think it's just something I've pondered because I know that at certain times in my life in the past, if he had told me like, hey, this is what it's going to look like, and then didn't reassure along the way in the sense of like continuous divine revealings, it would have been like, I would have been like, do I really need to stick this out type of thing? You know what I'm saying? Because
No, I'm not saying it wouldn't be hard. And I'm telling you right now, if you told me, hey, I need you to kill Abby Grace, I don't think I'm doing it. Straight up. Like, I'll be like, God, with all due respect, I'm no Abraham. Right? Like that's what would be my answer. But
now let me ask y'all this. And this is not to combat your answer by no means, because I'm talking to myself as well. So why, like you're saying, if you heard from God that this was your will, that you would 100% do it. And I'm not saying that you don't do this. I'm just saying this struck me as you were talking. Matthew 28:19. Therefore, go and make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Teach these new disciples to obey all the commandments I have given you, and be sure of this: I am with you always, even to the end of the age. And that's, as Christians, that's our will. Like that's what he's. So why don't? And again, I'm preaching to me. Why don't I go and tell? Why? That's literally his. And I get what you're saying. Like, not. I mean, that's obvious because it's in there. But I think a lot of times we overlook, like, that's God's will for us to go and tell, to go and make disciples. So why do I personally overlook that? Or why do I want more when that's all he wants?
yeah, I don't necessarily want more. That's not what I'm saying. But I know I agree with you.
just stumped all of us, man.
No, I mean, that was just what was going through my head.
Yeah, what happened with the Glinton?
Because
I heard you made somebody cry.
Dude, we had a really, really good conversation. Dude, it was good.
Tell me about it. Tell me about it.
It was really good. Yeah, we were just talking, and I can't remember exactly what we were talking about, but I know the question came up of, so can I not be a Christian if I'm homosexual? And I can't remember if I'm pretty sure that's kind of where all that happened. And, I kind of just said, like, look, you gotta go by what's in here. Like, you can't, like, I'm not the one who judges you. I'm not the one who can tell you where your heart's at. But we have to go by what's in the book, because ultimately God's going to be the one that judges you. And right before that, I think it was Colleen. She said that one of her hang-ups with, because she's open about not being a believer, and which I respect. I have a lot of respect for people who will openly say, like, look, I don't believe what you believe, and not fake it. You know what I mean? But she said that one of her biggest hang-ups is that in order to submit to Christ, all the things in this life that make her happy, she has to turn away from. And I mean, that's heavy. You know what I mean? Because that's it.
That's called being a slave to Christ, right there.
A slave to Christ. Like that's it. And
dude, that's awesome. I'm like, Colleen, girl, you couldn't have said it better.
Like that. I mean, and that's.
I want you to know I'm with you.
That struck me. Like that's tough. because you do. You have to deny. I mean, that's taking up your cross daily. You have to deny yourself.
But I think too, to like, obviously she's in a different spot, but something to make sure that we recognize is like we don't do that on our own, right? God,
That's right.
I mean, Grant mentions this. I'll give Grant some love here, but
And don't
God,
give Grant love. Don't give Grant love. Stop it.
God gives us a new heart, new spirit, right? So I go back to like I'm trying to think Matthew 11 and 28, like when he says my yoke is light and my commandments are not burdensome and all that stuff. It's like, okay, so yeah, it does require us to deny sin, fleshly desires, but if we are truly changed, new heart for Christ, then we start to want the things that we basically didn't in the past. So I don't know how you might communicate that with her, but the fact that she's at that spot, dude, that's awesome.
Dude, it's amazing.
She recognizes
It's
it.
amazing. And I mean, like, to add to that, it gets easier and easier. Like your desires aren't or you have new desires. Your old desires are a thing of the past, and then it's really hard, but like it gets easier and easier. I mean, like you can ask Daniel. Like when I was 17 years old, there was a freaking hard transformation in my life. And that's what it was. Literally just had to be like, okay, I'm not going to do anything that I'm doing. like I guess that's what it come like. Literally, it kind of was like that. That's awesome. That I'm gonna have to look up that verse, Daniel. I'm gonna wear whatever that verse is, little tape paint like Tebow did whenever I do a yoke event. And people are gonna look it up. I'm not gonna say anything, but people are gonna look it up, and it's gonna be like, "My yoke is light, my burden is," and it's gonna hit so hard if I win that event. If I don't win that event, it's not gonna hit as hard. But if I win that event, man, that's gonna hit people great.
That's awesome.
That's how I'm gonna bring people to the Lord, doing the will of God, as Brock has said.
You're the Tebow of Grid League, man. That's awesome.
The Tebow of Grid League, man. That is a niche thing if I've ever heard one. But I will rock with it. I agree.
Oh
Kenneth.
my gosh.
I agree, 100%.
Oh, thanks, Kenneth. That's nice of you.
Somebody asked earlier, since you were talking about, I don't know, I guess Tebow made me think about it. Somebody asked if you had a jersey out yet.
Me?
For Grid League, yeah.
I have. I'm supposed to receive it the first day, but it probably won't happen. Like 10% chance it's gonna happen. But I got people working on it. For me to be an Ovaltine sponsored athlete.
What?
It's gonna be pretty cool. Again, will probably not happen. But I am fingers crossed, man. Like my bio says like it says my name and then a picture of me and stuff, and it goes snatch 310, clean 400, and then my like thing about me is I have 2 corgis and I drink an absurd amount of Ovaltine, and that's all it says.
Yeah.
Doesn't say anything else. Everybody else is like, I'm a mom of 4 and I like this stuff, like hobbies, and that's all mine would say. Leslie, she is such a pessimist. No, I'm gonna will this into existence. It's gonna be amazing.
I mean, I can vouch for your love for Ovaltine. All you ever talked about in high school was after working hard was I'm just gonna go sit in a bath and drink some Ovaltine.
Dude,
It's
great. It's great. And I have like a perfect like pitch plan to him. What I'm gonna do. I might do this tomorrow. I have to do it at some point. I'm gonna bring some milk to the gym and Ovaltine, and I'm gonna take a video of me mixing it and then just chugging a glass of this, and then immediately cleaning 365, and then be like, "Drink your Ovaltine, kids," and then walking away. And then we're gonna make that into something. I have people far greater at technology than I am that we're gonna try to make something with it to get this sponsorship. They might come out with like a protein Ovaltine.
Oh, that would be cool.
It would.
That would do really well.
I think. Well, I don't think a lot of people drink Ovaltine. I think I'm keeping them in business by myself. But yeah.
Well, going back, thinking about kind of what Colleen said.
Ovaltine. Sorry, I didn't mean. Dude, that is awesome.
Let's go.
Sorry, Daniel.
Listen, if that happened, man, I was gonna be
Dude,
so
that's
obnoxious
sick.
about it. I'm gonna post a story every day about it. Go ahead, Daniel.
No, I appreciate that you're so excited about this, John. This would be a big deal.
No, I'm not excited about this. Happening. I don't think it'll happen, but it's an email's been sent.
The fact that there's even a chance is cool.
Yeah.
What I was gonna what I was gonna ask was, did like the subject of being a slave, not obviously we wouldn't use that terminology with her, but
I think we should.
Yes. Okay. Yes, but like it'd be hard for not to. I'll get on that subject in a minute, but
Okay.
Of if we're not a slave to Christ, what are you a slave of? Because you're a slave to something. If was that broached at all or approached at all? Because I think that's part of what like the whole concept of being a slave to Christ is like off-putting for people because we don't realize that we're a slave to sin without Christ. Like Christ actually gives us freedom to not be a slave to sin. And then it's freedom in Christ. That's why Galatians 5:1, all that stuff. Johnny had a really good like excerpt sermon 2 weeks ago on it. But I was just curious if that had approached, if you all had talked about that at all, or she mentioned anything like that.
No, right after, I think right after Colleen said that is when Garrett got a little upset, and then the subject changed after that, which was fine. I mean, I didn't want to
Not upset. Like
I didn't wanna,
we're not talking about this anymore. Like
no.
like just had to like stop for a minute. Upset.
Yeah,
Like
which was fine. I mean, I don't want to press it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
but it was good. Like you know, it was good.
God's perfect timing, man. The fact that they're willing to keep having these conversations, that's so cool. So cool.
Yeah, like I've got a lot of respect for that because, like, obviously being a gay couple, you know, people, you can see that from the outside, and they're not like, it doesn't matter if they have opposing views or it doesn't matter. Like they listen. They want to
have a conversation. Like they're
yeah. Like it doesn't matter. Yep. Yeah, it was awesome. Really good. What does Grant? What does, obviously in John 3? That's when it talks about being born again. Is that what you're saying, that he says he's out about John 3?
Zevon?
Mm-hmm.
Trying to figure out where he would say he was out. Maybe he must
Verse
become
3
greater
is when
and
it
greater,
talks about,
and I must become less and less. I think people just get hung up on like language, and I mean that's part of the issue.
That's weird. You read that verse. I think I'm gonna get that tattooed on me. I really like that verse.
Dude, I love that verse. It's highlighted here in my Bible, right here. See, right there. That one right there.
Have you like looked? This can be kind of dumb, but like analyze the freedom. Obviously, the opposite of being a slave is being free, right? But really analyzing what that word means in a biblical context, it's I think really interesting. Like in 2 Corinthians 3:17, Paul says, "Now the Lord is the Spirit, and where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty." And just kind of doing a little bit of research on that, like the definition I got from Blue Letter Bible, because I'm going to keep bumping that. That's a super helpful tool. If you haven't used it, guys, check it out. Freedom from the dominion of corrupt desires, so that we do by the free impulse of the soul what the will of God requires, i.e. the Christian religion, which furnishes that rule of right living by which the liberty just mentioned is attained. A little wordy, but like basically, we, like I said earlier, when we're saved, we're freed from that bondage of sin, where we can actually now do the will of God. We no longer have to seek. It's impossible to please God, but we don't have to seek to please God and keep struggling and keep striving for that, because Christ has already done it. And then naturally from that, with our new heart, we will naturally do the things, not naturally with the flesh, but the new heart will desire the things of Christ. So it's like it's a slave ship, but it's not, because Christ talks about, hey, slaves are in like the house forever, but sons are free indeed. It's like it's a sonship. You're adopted to sons, so it's kind of like this weird.
You're a slave while you're on earth.
Yeah, I mean,
is that fair? Because like you're a slave of Christ. I mean, but Paul describes himself as a slave 24/7.
I think regardless, yes, I agree. You're a slave, but in the sense of the word, it's not the slave. I think then what you were saying, people get hung up about language. It's not the slave that we think about. Like,
no, it's a good slave.
Yeah, it's like the bond servant. Like, but you're willingly indentured at some point. Like the slavery in Rome was like, right, exactly. Slavery in Rome would be like, hey, I'm gonna go sign up for this because I owe this person, type of thing. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know where I was going with that, but I just wanted to mention it. That was cool.
And and in 1 Corinthians 7:22, it says Christians should not be concerned with their earthly status of slave or free, but rather focus on their relationship with Christ. Like, it doesn't like that mean that should mean like language. Language should not. It doesn't matter what you are. It doesn't matter.
There's no slave or free.
It does not matter.
Female in Christ. Yeah, absolutely.
And quite frankly, it's usually better to be a slave than to be a rich man that's free.
You know what? I'm kind of looking through this, and I think, Brock, you mentioned this last week with Romans 8. And what's hard if I knew the answer to this, then I probably wouldn't be here. But
on the podcast, you'd be big time. You're just too good for us if you knew the answer to this.
I'd be in heaven, is what I'm saying.
Thanks, Daniel.
No, that's not what I meant. Is when Paul goes back and forth in Romans, where he's like, so I'm no longer a slave to sin, but my flesh is still wanting to do what it wants to do, but my spirit's doing this, wants to do this. Like, how those two can coexist, and how like we're in this in-between phase where like our spirit's saved, we're now slave to Christ, but it's like we got this like gremlin hanging on to us the whole time.
And sometimes that gremlin gets wet. Have you not seen Gremlins, Daniel? Like,
I just used the word. Yeah, I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying.
That was a perfect thing, and you made it all weird. That was so great.
That was good. I know what you're saying now. My dad has described that to me. I have not seen the movie. Sorry.
When they get wet, they turn to monsters.
Yeah, thank you.
They're actually really cute.
Yeah.
And until they get wet. It worked really well, but it's okay. Let's move on.
Oh man, that's funny.
Oh man.
Do you want to talk about guys? This is a big deal. Men are no longer allowed to compete in women's sports.
Dude, that's so crazy.
The fact that
that's even a thing, like
pretty
that,
cool,
that's,
huh?
that's an executive order.
Isn't that cool?
That's
though?
wild.
Dude, he's doing some things. I know he might be evil, but he's doing some stuff.
Yeah, quick.
Dude, the Doge stuff is wild.
You're gonna have to explain that.
Okay.
You're gonna have to explain that to me.
Okay.
I know you
Because
texted
I had
it. I don't have, believe it or not, I don't have a ton of time on my hands to like research things.
You got a new kid, I believe it, and you're actually working. I'm just sitting on my butt being a lazy turd.
So you have to explain the Doge stuff to me, please.
Yeah, I actually had typed out, "Can you explain this?"
Yeah.
And I guess I just didn't send it because earlier when I was sending out the link, I opened it up and I was like, "Well, that's why he never texts back because I didn't send it."
So
Brock's sitting there. He must think I'm an idiot. You're not going to help me at all.
Am I missing something?
You guys know what Doge is, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, I need it to keep rising.
So not that Doge. So what Elon and his 6 computer wizards are doing are basically going through USAID.
There's 6 of them?
Yes, there are 6 wonder kids because they're doxing them, trying to basically like, you know how the Dems are. Well, they're basically uncovering, and I'll read how this works exactly, but they're uncovering all the different crooked avenues our taxpayer money goes to through the USAID. The USAID is a agency that should have never existed in the U.S. government,
and he did away with him.
Well, he's working on it. Okay, so this is how it works. A government-funded NGO, gets a USAID grant for something vague, like say strengthening education, right? Then that NGO dumps millions into a donor-advised fund. The donor-advised fund isn't required to disclose what the NGO told them to do with the money, and then somehow, basically, every super wacko thing that the Democrats like is funded. So like we're funding drag shows in Ecuador,
like abortion clinics and stuff like that, like resources.
Yeah, but not only that, but like diversity stuff in Afghanistan where the Taliban legit looks at it and throws it away because it's funny in their eyes. Like, so we're funding all of this crap. Well, the thing I sent you guys, Mark Driscoll is a pastor out west.
I know.
Yep. Okay, so we're familiar with Mark Driscoll. Well, Christianity Today has gotten, let's just say it's not biblically rooted in a lot of the stuff that they say. Okay, you can,
Mark Driscoll or just Christianity in general?
No, Christianity Today. It's a magazine.
Yeah,
CT magazine or whatever.
Yeah, the CT magazine. Well, if you look at that post through Doge and what they're doing, the government, through our taxpayer dollars, funded Christianity Today almost 20% of their budget. So what would you expect?
Which is the government grant that was in that. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, through the USAID and all that stuff. So basically, like some people, like RFK Jr. said that the USAID is just really a front for the CIA to do the things that they don't really want to do. So it's like you could kind of, maybe that's a little far-fetched, but I don't really know if it's that far-fetched. He's been right about a lot. So all that to say, basically no stone is being left unturned at this point. We didn't realize this, but we're funding every mainstream media in America. Our taxpayer dollars, $34 million to Politico, which is a hard left liberal like news organization. We paid over $40 million to the New York Times over the last 4 years. Like basically, like all our money is going to Democratic causes. So the Democrats are freaking out because they're like, our gravy train's being derailed.
Yeah.
So that's the long story. But basically, that one I sent you guys was about that Christianity Today has gone off the rails quite a bit, where it's very questionable some of the stuff they're saying. It's not biblically consistent.
And if one, I feel like if one thing is biblically inconsistent, the whole thing's gone.
Yeah, absolutely. But like, I'm just saying this is
for instance, right. No, I understand. But like if this is funny. When we look up churches, I always just be like, yeah, let's go. Like we'll watch one sermon and I'm like, oh, okay, like yeah, let's go check it out. Leslie does like a deep dive on all of the like everywhere we're going, and then she goes and she looks at their staff. This is the first thing she does. And if there is a woman on there and it could say kids pastor or anything, if it says pastor on there, she like it's the death stare of all death stares. Like she's just about like feel like you're gonna throw the laptop out the window. That I would even suggest that we go there because I'm just watching one guy go and I'm like, we can check it out if you want to, and then she'll do the deep dive on it and then condemn me for saying such a thing. I'm like, okay, no, we don't have to. Like it's fine. like, and then but it's so funny because she like it's I love it. I love it. But that's the first thing she does. And it's crazy the percentage of churches that have a female on staff or something like that. It's wild.
Some of that stuff you have to look at closely. I agree with you, though. Like if it's in any position like an elder or anything close to that.
Just anything authoritative.
Like the kid over the kids ministry, I can see an argument. But most other stuff, it's like.
Dude, if it says pastor, it's a wrap. Doesn't matter what's in front of it. Doesn't matter what's in front of it.
I hear you. Because the pastor like demands a certain type of authority that just I get you.
And then
ours says children director.
That's fine.
Yeah, that's different. That's different.
I had to go look just to see.
And then we got and then she'll find a church and then it'll be like, see here, nursery. Like teacher, like, and then it's like just run me through it. I'm like, all right, sounds good.
Well, what you have to look at too, after you look at the staff, you have to make sure that you look at their core like beliefs and stuff.
Yeah. But it's funny that she doesn't do that first. She looks at the staff first.
Well, the staff usually tells you where the core beliefs are probably going to be. And it's quicker.
Yeah.
But the core beliefs, dude, if they outline stuff on like this is what sex and gender is and this is what marriage is, then you're like, okay, this is solid. If they're like kind of gray with it, then it's like, oh, we don't know where we're going to be with this. So.
I know exactly where I'm going to be with that. Yeah. Gray is worse than black.
Fair enough.
Not in a race sense, obviously. Don't clip me.
That's going to get
somebody out there. That something like that will get clipped, Daniel, and I'll get canceled for something like that. Like that's what happens to me.
That's so out of context,
dude. That's what happened to Gridley. That's what.
Well, that's why it got shot down, man. Don't worry about it. You'll be all right.
Yeah, but it's just it always it makes me just smile how like passionate she is about it.
Dude, I could see it too. She gets so fiery about.
Oh, dude, things. And like cold-hearted, like
brutal.
For some reason. Her at her coldest, as long as it's not directed at me, just fills me with joy.
Oh my gosh!
But this is good. Then this is. I have watched videos about Democratic people, news stations freaking out, and like just condemning Elon Musk. Like up and down, just saying he's evil or saying he's the president and Trump's not the president.
Oh, I got a question for you guys. Yeah, like that. Yeah,
be careful, bro.
That's gonna be clipped too. My goodness.
Oh, dude.
And you kind of look. You kind of look like one too, which is bad. This is bad.
Probably the most awkward thing that I've ever watched was Elon walk up onto the stage like clapping and cheering. That was the most awkward thing I've ever seen in my life.
Dude, Elon's on cloud 9, man. He's like Elon. I feel like Elon is in his puppy dog love phase where like, like when you first get a girlfriend, you're very like you first get her and you're like, I'm going to make you so happy. I'm going to do everything for you. Right. That's what Elon is, but to the country. Like, I'm going to make this country so good. Like, that's how I feel. That's the vibe I get from Elon. What was your question?
Leslie, I appreciate the comment. Sorry, I can't bump it. Otherwise, Brock has to pay like $70 a month. So not happening.
Yeah, that's crazy, dude.
That's
For me to add Daniel as an admin so he can pull up comments too. $70 a month.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
Brock, I don't think that's true. I feel like
Yes, dude,
a way around that.
I tried to add him earlier. You can only have on the free membership. You can only have 2 seats.
Okay. I
To get
don't
4
think Spin.
seats.
I feel like Spin is hacked away because I don't think he's paying $70 a month.
We'll find out that cheat code and send it to me.
I'm convinced Spin worked for the CIA back in the day.
CIA. No shit.
Yeah. Just the way he finds out things. It's just nobody else can do that the way he does it. He's like Snowden, but CrossFit. Spin is a CrossFit Snowden. It's hard to explain, Daniel. But like, yeah, actually, it's not hard to explain. It's exactly what that means. CrossFit Snowden. Go ahead, ask your question.
I like that one. You guys saw what Trump suggested with Gaza, right?
Yep.
What are I sent it to my dad and I asked him what he thought about it, and his take was very interesting. So I'm curious what you all think about this. And this is not like anything. This could involve what you think about it politically, what you think about it in regards to the U.S., what you think about it with regards to the end times, what you think about anything. So,
we're just talking about it.
So I'm assuming you're talking about how he said that we were going into Gaza.
Basically, yeah, we're taking it over. He said,
yeah, we're kicking the Palestinians out. No more Palestinians in Gaza. I'm for it. Go get them.
I mean, I think obviously it's a very, if you're going into Gaza to take it over, it's a very hard stand with Israel.
Well, yes, but like he also said they're going to stabilize the region. Hard thing about that is we tried to do that with Iraq and it didn't go very well. Like, and that's tough because we like legitimately, I feel like, put a lot of resources into doing that with Iraq, and it wasn't great. So how do you know this is going to be any different? I don't know, but I'm agreeable with Brock, and I'm just gonna ride with that. You know, they'll hit New York before they hit Houston. You know, it's all right. I'll be good.
Oh, they definitely ain't hitting Spartanburg. So
yeah. Brock's sitting pretty, man. You know.
So what was your dad's take on it?
He said basically something to the effect like he wonders if that's how peace is restored to the Middle East before the Antichrist comes, is the eradication of Islam. It just made me think a little bit.
So he's not for the eradication of Islam?
Well, I mean, to eradicate Islam, you have to cleanse. Like, it has to be ethnic cleansing because they're gonna, just like Christians, they're gonna die on that hill.
I understand. I don't think the answer is a genocide to a people.
That's what. Yes,
I'm not assuming that's going to happen, though.
No, I'm getting off topic a little bit.
I'm sorry.
Okay?
I'm sorry.
That's not. I'm not saying that's what they're going to do. Trump said that these other two countries have to take the refugees. He's not going in to try to, or I don't think he's really trying to do it in general. I think he's just playing poker, and he has something much more mild up his sleeve. But it just got me thinking about like how exactly like that peace is established in the Middle East, because I don't think, because my dad made a good point. He's like, Islam isn't going to concede, and he doesn't think that it'll take over the whole area. So how do you there's going to have to be peace at some point for the Antichrist to rise, basically. So
yeah, but it's not going to be Christianity and Judaism either.
No, I'm not saying it's going to be. I just
a new religion will come about, and it's going to take over.
We have a new religion. It's the religion of self. It's just, nothing is new under the sun.
Yeah, but they'll call it something.
Yeah,
I'm saying I don't think that's been called yet.
Humanism.
Okay, well, I've not heard of the humanism religion yet.
Yeah, because the people that are humanists don't admit it because they're like,
And then-
"Oh, I'm above all this."
And then
Well, isn't that
okay,
kind of what the Unitarian is that?
Unitarianism.
I don't know.
Is the Antichrist not supposed to like come up out of nowhere though? Like,
Well, he might come out of nowhere. I'm just saying. I just thought it was an interesting take. It was like my dad knows a lot more about this stuff than me.
no, not I get the thought. Like Islam would have to be eradicated for there to be peace at all, because they're not going to be peace with Islam,
right.
right? But Christianity's practically eradicated too when that happens.
Why do you say that?
It's not, but it's practically like we're going to be hunted down.
Oh yeah, once he's in power, yeah. But I'm saying for him to rise to power, that there's going to be a piece of some sort, right?
Right, but I don't know.
I don't know. It's a little
Well,
off topic.
What temple is he going to sit in and say he's God? You know, where's Nikolai at? I haven't seen him yet.
No, I haven't fact checked this, but there's a guy at my work. He actually goes to our church, and he's big into like he's fascinated with the third temple and like all the different things that have to happen and blah 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 blah.
Can I have a timeout?
Supposedly, yeah. Go ahead.
Educate me, Daniel. Has the third temple been built?
Dude, I think most people don't have an earthly clue what's actually happened and not happened.
No, that's where I was going at. Supposedly, they have all the materials on standby to build it. They just need the land. Apparently,
what I'm saying is all this stuff has to be in motion, and none of it's in motion.
Well, it could true, but like it could turn like that. You know, it might be. I don't know. It could be 1,000 years from now. It could be 5 years from now. I don't know.
I'm trying to think this through as like, is this the spark that makes that happen? I'm not saying it's like not something to ponder about, but I just, I'll go back and read Revelation, but I feel like a lot of stuff has to happen before it starts happening, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I know. I think there's some stuff. It was just a thought. I was just curious.
Well, to go back to the kind of the original.
Think through it. Go ahead, Rob.
To go back to kind of the original question, let me ask you this: Do you think that it's a little bit too much of a power play? And if you take the biblical and all out of it, do you think that we should be working on our nation? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I will. It is kind of out of pocket. I feel like it came out of nowhere, but maybe I'm just not. Maybe I just don't know. Like maybe we were involved before and just not doing anything. Now we're doing something. But
yeah, we were giving money to Hamas instead. So,
but like Trump's whole thing though is like securing our borders, making our nation great, not caring about others until we're great. Right? It is a little outside of that. I'm not against it, but like that is not keeping us good.
I am very for keeping Israel as an ally, but I think this is him playing poker. I don't think he really means it. And if he truly does mean it, then I'm not for this. I don't want American boots on the ground over there personally.
Why?
I'd rather just, and this is going to sound terrible, I'd rather have Israel just level the city and just like they chose their fate.
Let them deal with it.
Like basically say, hey, we're behind you and we'll back you to the end, but this is your job. You level the city. So
you're not in favor for it. Is it because of Iraq or just you'd rather Israel take care of it?
Yeah, I mean, I think the Middle East is always going to be in turmoil until the very end. So like what you have to preserve Israel's independence and you have to preserve Israel's dominance, in my opinion. But I don't want to mess with. Yeah, Iraq was an example. Afghanistan was an example with the withdrawal there. It's just
that was crap shit.
Yeah. So you just lose too many men and women fighting for something that's never going to change.
Yeah. I agree with that. But yeah, no, I agree with what you're saying. Like, just let Israel do it. But I don't know if I don't know how likely that is to happen.
Well, if they have the balls to do it, it's just whether or not they have the backing in the international viewing. Like, if they know that we'll go to bat with them versus Europe, then they don't care. They won't care.
Yeah.
Maybe that's Trump's play. Maybe he's saying, like you were saying a minute ago, maybe he's saying this
As
to
a
the Israel
stand with
side.
Israel, so be like, hey, go ahead, do it.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Dude, it's gonna be a lot.
And then it's like, dang, do we want World War III? You know?
And then the Antichrist comes. It'll come. Hey, I mean, okay, so if your dad is saying that this is going to spur World War III, okay,
He's not saying
Israel?
anything.
No,
He's not
listen.
saying
What
anything.
Steve Helms said, word for word, was that we're going to fake put boots on the ground, and then Israel's going to bomb the freaking fire out of Palestine, and then World War III is going to come about. Meanwhile, a little temple's getting built over here that nobody knows about. And then some guy's going to rise up and be like, hey, let's stop fighting. And then everybody's just going to follow this guy. He's going to sit on a chair. He's going to say, I'm actually God. And then we're all in trouble. And we can only pay for stuff through Musk Incorporated.
Neuralink.
Oh, Neuralink. Yeah, dude, Neuralink's sketchy. I'm not about that. Like, we could doge it up all we want, but I'm not about that Neuralink. I hope that's not the case if that happens.
Now let me ask you this, not to get on a wild tangent. Do you think, since you brought up, or since we're talking about the Antichrist and all that, do y'all think we will be here for that? What's y'all personal opinion?
That I don't know. I almost don't think it matters. But nobody knows.
I can see an argument for either. I can see God being extremely merciful and rapturing us, but I can also see him saying, I'm really going to see who's mine. And then just leaving us.
That's my take. Like, I'm
crazy though, dude.
Exactly,
to just like have everybody martyr themselves.
Dude, there's legit a line in Revelation that's like, the number of souls needed to be martyred has not been reached yet, or something like that. Like,
yeah, no, I get you. I want to die quick. Then I want somebody to shoot me. I don't want to be boiled. I don't want to be boiled,
crucified, or
that's not cool.
Shot or beheaded or something.
Just shoot me. Yeah. We live in modern times. Okay, we're not Neanderthals. Okay.
You said it. They behead in the Middle East quite a bit still. So
yeah, I'll get beheaded. I'll get beheaded easy. I'll do that easy. I'm like, y'all ready yet? Let's get going. There's a guy I gotta meet up there, and I'm late for my appointment. Let's go. Nam Shababa. All right, come on, let's go. Let's get this over with. I'll take that in a heartbeat, and then it'll cut off my hand, and then I'll be like, "Oh God, please make it in." or like something small, like just my finger or something. I mean, oh, no. I can't grab a pencil anymore.
Like a thumb, so you can't hook grip.
I got no problem dying if it's quick. Dude, I'll die quick so fast. I will volunteer. If it's quick, I'll volunteer.
You'll never Hankling 405 in your life.
That's fine, man. Or that's what kills me. Like I get under the like he's such a football player. You hear him say hang clean, Brock. This is freaking
Whatever.
he's such a freaking football player. He just doesn't know how to Olympic lift properly. He's like weight just buckles me and ends up breaking my neck, and that's how I die. I'll go out that way. That'd be a cool way to go out. Leslie probably wouldn't like that, but I think that'd be fine.
That'd be pretty traumatizing.
Did you see the guy who died squatting?
No.
It was like a couple months ago, but like it's the spotter's fault, which is crazy. Like I would, if you're him, just guy's squatting. He like kind of like he starts bailing the wrong way, like here, right? Like the weight going over him. Guy who's spotting him tries to pull the bar back, like so he doesn't go in front. But like all the pressure is right here, neck breaks, dies instantly. Bam. Like, and it's like 500 something, it's heavy weight, but like he starts bailing like this, guy stops it, and then all the weight's here, and then his neck just gives, dies instantly. Yeah, it's crazy. The video is not graphic, but like, man, like you see when the happens. And if you're like 100%, this is the spotter's fault. Like it's not a great. Oh, you're gonna pull it up, Brock? All right, go ahead. You see how he's holding it right now?
Oh no! Oh no! Oh no!
You see where his head went?
Oh my gosh!
And like, if that guy, the spotter, you killed that man. Like
Why is Brooke Wells?
So no, it's wild. I feel like that guy should go to jail. But I know it's in the moment, but I didn't know you were gonna show it, Brock. I know people don't want to see all that.
Hey, we ain't soft around here, son.
It's on YouTube. Which is I can't believe it's allowed to be on YouTube. But did you see the moment?
Yeah.
And then his neck just gave. I mean, I've never seen that ever. I've seen weights crash on people all the time, but dude, crazy. And then I went and max back squatted like right after watching it, like a man who bails properly.
I'm soft.
That's why you don't need a spotter when you're maxing out.
Hey, nobody's ever broken their neck running, so I guess I'll be a runner.
That's probably
the guy who ran a marathon died trying to deliver a message. That's how the marathon came to be. He ran from Athens to Marathon to say the war was won, and he died.
Is that dead for real? Like
yeah, the very first guy to ever run. It was 26.2 miles away from those two cities, and that's why they call it that.
I'll be dang.
Yeah, did you not know that? What's kind of cool is what he says. He says Nike, which means victory, and then Nike kind of ran with it, which is kind of, I don't know if a lot of people know that, but that's kind of cool. That's why Nike's called what they're called.
That is interesting.
Anyway,
all right,
that's
Daniel,
hit us with a spotter was squatting. You just let it
hit us with an exit question.
Oh, me? Good night. I'm not good on my feet. We want something related to our topic or something for a teaser for next week?
You can do a teaser.
All right. How does it's kind of with this week, and maybe we can make it blend into next week, but how does becoming a slave to Christ change, basically, like give practical examples of how it changes everything in your life. Like something as simple as, you know, who you're going to marry or who you're going to date or
Who you vote for?
who you vote for
Mm.
or, yeah, stuff like that. So,
So like maybe like change your outlook on life.
yeah, like how does that foundation change how you approach? Like, for example, is my primary drive when I'm employed to bring back money? Obviously, like I need it to survive, but like is that my only goal is to make as much money as I can for working or stuff like that.
All right. Thank you, everybody that's been here today. Sorry for that last video. I didn't know Brock was going to pull that up. I was just going to talk about it, but it's cool. We'll show you somebody being beheaded next week.
No, please don't. I will log out.
That's what we got. That's what we got lined up.
Dude, I used to watch stuff like that all the time.
Really? Why?
Dude, there used to be this website. It was I think it was called goregrish.com. I'm not gonna look it up, but dude, it was wild. Like it was like a website like where I don't know how people would get these videos, but it would be like terrorist organizations like slaughtering people.
And just like snuff films.
Yeah, and it was like a YouTube for all that.
I'm good, man. I'm good.
No, thank you.
It was insane.
I'll stick to Iron Man.
Yeah.
He kills people, but it's tasteful.
I'm more of a comedy guy.
Okay. That's crazy that you don't strike me as a guy that does that. That's kind of honestly kind of like serial killer type deal, Brock. You should probably get like checked out.
I probably should. You like what you like, I guess. No, I don't know. Somebody randomly showed it to me one day, and I was like, "This is crazy." But it was like a weird addiction. Like it was like one of them things. Like, dude, this is turning my stomach watching it, but I'm gonna watch another video.
I guess I used to be like that with like scary movies, and I don't watch scary movies anymore. Like at all. Like at all.
Play to Christ.
Yeah, maybe. I have no desire at all. Desires have changed. Like just nothing.
I think it's more so probably because you maybe have a better understanding of what actually might be out there now.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't want to open a door to anything, which is crazy. Anyway, okay. All right. Great somber note to end the podcast on. I hope everybody's doing great. Okay, go get your Gore Grish fill, I guess. All right. Super Bowl. Who you got? Who do you want? Who do you got?
I want the Eagles.
Yeah, want the Eagles.
Really? You guys are a bunch of haters, bro. Why do you hate greatness?
Love to see Goliath fall.
They're not Goliath. They're David slaying folks.
No, they're not.
Mm-hmm. David was the Goliath in a lot of circumstances.
Oh my gosh, you're not going to buy into that bull crap take, are you? That's another podcast. Don't get me started.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, if you're trying to bring up the one guy that tried to say like Goliath was some like autistic giant that didn't know how to do anything.
That's not what I said. I said David was Goliath to a lot of people.
Well, you're saying in the future.
Like he had a crazy army, man. He won a lot of battles.
Yeah, well, David was
destroyed a lot of people. Like to some people, he was the Goliath, is what I'm saying.
David was also God's servant. I don't know if Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes are.
I'm not saying that.
I'm not saying they aren't.
Jalen
I don't
Hurts
know.
is?
No, I
All
just want
right.
to see Goliath fall.
No, I don't think Goliath was autistic, Daniel. That's crazy to say. And what if he was? Would that be okay? Well, you got something against autistic people? They're happy.
No, I was trying to say this guy was trying to explain away how David was really the one that was, or Goliath was the one that was outmatched.
Oh, no, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying David is like just unbeatable in some. I guarantee you, he just slayed people at a time.
Well, I want the Eagles to win, but I think the Chiefs will win on a last-second field goal, having just had a pass interference call or a roughing the passer penalty.
I figure you're a Harrison Butker fan.
I'm a huge Harrison Butker fan, and Noah Gray. Harrison Butker, Noah
Yeah,
Gray,
dude.
That I hope they have phenomenal games, but I hope they lose.
Who do you like on the Eagles? Nobody.
They both have 2-3 Super Bowls already. They don't need another one.
I want greatness. I want the best we've ever seen.
This would be the first three-peat, wouldn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And it was with the NFL in cahoots with the refs and Taylor Swift. That makes a lot of sense.
Oh my gosh. Listen. I will buy into your conspiracy with the politics, but you were an NFL player.
Okay. Yeah, I don't
for the Chiefs. You were on the Chiefs one time.
I don't think it's I like all those guys.
Were you ever on the Eagles?
The coach was awesome.
This is one of your teams.
I liked all that. Mahomes was great. Kelsey was awesome. Loved those guys. They were great. I want them to lose. Sorry.
That's so dirty.
That's not dirty.
So you played with Mahomes?
I mean,
and
for
Kelsey?
2 weeks. Yeah,
he was a practice squad guy.
No, I was a camp body. Even worse.
Less than a practice.
Yeah.
Still getting paid though.
Not really in camp. I mean, you get paid, but it's like the equivalent of like $60,000 for the year.
Practice squad people get paid.
Yeah, practice squad people get paid.
Well, I want the Chiefs to win because I'm from Missouri, and that's our second favorite team.
You better go check on Abby, dude. She is.
I know. I don't know what Mom is doing. Better get it in check. Get her in gear. I'm gonna need my sandwich here pretty soon.
Oh man, poor Leslie.
I don't need sandwiches. And then I think the Chiefs will win. And then next year they're gonna make the Super Bowl again and get dethroned by Anakin Skywalker himself, aka JJ McCarthy. Go look up JJ McCarthy. He looks just like Anakin Skywalker, dude.
My Panthers are gonna make it look good.
Are y'all gonna draft a quarterback?
Doubtful.
Are you sad about that? I don't think the quarterbacks this year are good anyway. I don't think any of the quarterbacks are gonna be good this year. I'm like a really big Shadur Sanders hater. I don't like any of the Sanders clan.
You don't like Dion?
No. I think he's the best corner ever. I don't think they're good people.
Do you think he's genuine, like his fate?
I think he's genuinely not a good person.
Does he claim Christianity?
Dion does.
Interesting.
Listen, I struggle with pride, and I'm freaking Mother Teresa next to Deion Sanders as far as pride goes. You disagree, Daniel?
No. I
I
was just going to say all have sinned and fall short of the glory of God, John.
Okay, guys, we gotta go.
Yep.
I probably have to find a baby to hold.
Good luck.
Dude, she slept so much the first week, and it's like she forgot how to sleep.
Dude, it's crazy.
Is that crazy, Brock, or what? It's like we told him.
It's insane.
No remorse. No remorse at all.
He's like, oh, this is easy. We love
Dude,
it.
it was. I was like, oh, I can have her in here and podcast. Like, she's fine.
Just eats and sleeps.
Yeah.
When does that get better? When does she sleep longer?
Well, did you crack any of the books I sent you?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
In 12 weeks, she should sleep through the night.
The night I don't mess with. I'm warming the day.
Never again.
Never again. She never sleeps. She's always awake.
No, they sleep, but their wake windows always extend. Because if you want them to sleep at night, then they're going to be up more during the day.
Yeah, we've been opening all the windows and like lights and stuff so they can know that it's daytime. But see, she's good.
Oh, I figured she was on it. I just,
Dude, she'll let her cry. And only
for her.
She only lets her cry when she wants me to go get her. I have figured this out. Like I'm supposed to go get her if it lasts longer than 2 minutes.
Dude, Miranda's gotten so much with Titus, she would not let him cry at all. With Isaiah, I swear she's just waiting there for me to go do something. I'm like, I'm not gonna do anything.
I'll let her cry. Destiny won't let her cry.
Right.
And then she'll say, I don't know why she won't let me put her down. It's because you never put her down. That's why. I don't know why she cries as soon as I put her down.
Yeah, I was supposed to put Abby down, and she
down.
was freaking awake for 2 hours, and I'm like, she's just awake. Like, I don't know, but I need to build the thingy, the carrier, because I did just get an Xbox, and I've played Madden for the first time in 10 years, and I'm into it. I didn't know if I would be into it again, because it's been so long since I played anything. I'm into it, man. It didn't take long. So, but if I could build that carrier, we can just sit in the chair and I can play. Yeah, that'll be a really good way for me to get through it instead of just sitting down, not doing anything, waiting for her to go to sleep. But all right, guys, we were rambling for 37 minutes. So, thank you, everybody. Till next time. We appreciate you all.